Learning English, this is the Technology Report. Having an automobile can be costly. In addition to paying for fuel, the owner of a car should set aside money for an insurance policy to guard against possible damage or loss. The owner also has to pay for normal repairs, like an oil change and other work. Another cost is cleaning. Now, scientists say it may not be too long before self-cleaning paints become more common in many industries. It has been long known that rainwater slides off the leaves of some plants without leaving a mark. Soon, the same may be true for raindrops on your car. Scientists can now reproduce that quality or property of plants like the taro and lotus. Researchers are able to do this because of developments in nanophysics, the studies of very small particles. Yao Lu is a researcher from China's Dalian University of Technology. He currently works at University College London. He used titanium dioxide nanoparticles to create a new kind of water-repellent paint. Water droplets do not leave a mark on the painted surface. Yao Lu's supervisor is inorganic chemistry professor Claire Carmalt. She says that when water hits a surface covered with this paint, it forms little balls that clean up dirt and bacteria as they roll. That paint can be used on hard surfaces like glass or metal, or soft surfaces like cotton and paper just by using simple adhesives or glue. The new kind of paint can be used on a number of materials, from clothing and paper to steel and glass. Researchers say the paint could be used in a factory or other large-scale manufacturing. They predict this product could be used in a number of areas, including auto manufacturing and even hospitals. For VOA Learning English, I'm Alex Villarreal. From VOA Learning English, this is the Economics Report. A group of international aid, religious, and other groups is calling for debt cancellation for Nepal. The country is struggling with the effects of a powerful earthquake on April 25th that struck the central part of the country near the capital, Kathmandu. More than 8,000 people died in the quake. The United Nations says 8 million people, more than 1/4 of the country's population, have been affected by the disaster. Jubilee Network USA is a coalition of religious and aid groups that works to end extreme poverty. The group, a non-governmental organization, or NGO, says Nepal owes a total of $3.8 billion to foreign creditors, including the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank. The coalition's executive director, Eric Lecomte, says Nepal was repaying $220 million a year to international lenders before the quake. He says money to repay Nepal's debt should go to repair, rebuild, and help the nation recover. Mr. Lecomte says international lenders have canceled millions of dollars in debt owed by the West African nations hit hard by the Ebola crisis. He says he believes the debt relief programs should come with requirements for greater openness and accountability. He says that means the money that would have gone to repayment goes to the citizens who need it most, instead of tax breaks for companies or the military. The International Monetary Fund's Jerry Rice says the agency will send experts to study Nepal's needs as soon as the humanitarian situation subsides. However, another deadly earthquake of magnitude 7.3 struck Nepal on May 12th. For VOA Learning English, I'm Alex Villarreal. From VOA Learning English, this is the Economics Report. There is a policy dispute in Washington over a government agency that helps exporters. On one side is the American business community. On the other side are conservative Republican Party lawmakers. Unless Congress takes action, the Export-Import Bank of the United States could be forced to stop accepting new customers at the end of June. The bank provides loans and other help to buyers of U.S. products. W.S. Darley and Company makes fire trucks in the United States and sells them worldwide. Its chief executive officer says customers can spread their payments out over a period of time, making them more affordable. Business leaders and officials say small companies making products from pickles to ice cream have received help from the agency. The bank's supporters say U.S. exports would slow without help from the government agency. The Export-Import Bank also provides help to big companies. The aircraft maker Boeing says it would have to move some of its manufacturing jobs overseas without the help it receives. But Delta Airlines says the bank has helped foreign customers buy airplanes from Boeing at a lower cost than Delta can. The airline company says that hurts its profits and U.S. aviation jobs. Recently, the House of Representatives Financial Services Committee held hearings. Republican Texas Congressman Jeb Hensarling chairs the committee. He says big companies get most of the bank's help. But supporters say the Export-Import Bank provides important help when competing with government-supported foreign companies. For VOA Learning English, I'm Alex Villarreal. From VOA Learning English, this is the Education Report. This is the second part of our story on how a program in Ghana is helping children to read and write in their home language. The language is called Safalaba. A team of researchers and teachers believe this early education helps when children begin learning English in school. Paul Schaefer grew up in Ghana and works for the Christian-based non-governmental organization GILLBT. That stands for Ghana Institute of Linguistics, Literacy, and Bible Translation. He and his wife worked with local speakers to create a written language for the first time. Since the Safalaba language has only recently been a written one, there are few materials for teachers and students to read. Mr. Schaefer says it is absolutely critical to have published materials. Even though we live in a time when a lot is done on the internet, he says, it is not practical to have literacy without books. Their biggest need is to be able to print more books. Donors to the Safalaba project recently bought a copy machine called a duplicator. Having the duplicator in the Safalaba area makes it possible to do almost all the printing work locally. It will help the Safalaba community to print books in their own language. A Safalaba-speaking artist, Kotochi Mahatma, will be creating pictures for the books. The duplicator could make thousands of copies. The new machine meant that GILLBT could publish a dictionary for beginning readers. The first bilingual dictionary of Safalaba and English was published in 2014. It has almost 1,000 words. It will help both beginning readers of Safalaba and beginning learners of English. For VOA Learning English, I'm Alex Villarreal. From VOA Learning English, this is the Health Report. A new study in Korea found that night owls, people who stay up late, face a greater risk of developing diabetes than larks, people who wake up early. Researchers said this was true even when they slept the same number of hours. The study found that people who go to bed well after midnight develop more health problems than people who go to bed early. Orfeo Buxton studies the human brain and nervous system in the Division of Sleep Medicine at Harvard Medical School. Mr. Buxton was not involved in the Korean study, but he says that the relationship between sleep and disease has to do with the human body clock. He says the body prepares for activities linked to time of day. He says humans shut down as night comes on, so eating at that time can have unwanted results, like weight gain around the body's middle. The Korean researchers compared the health habits and metabolism of about 1,600 people, ages 47 to 59. The group was divided by their so-called chronotype, or sleep-wake cycle. The night owls were found to have higher levels of body fat and fats in their blood. They also had more muscle wasting than the larks. Mr. Buxton says people whose jobs start later in the day are more likely to show the signs of increased risk for diabetes. He says the night owls generally had unhealthier lifestyles. This includes smoking, exercising less, and eating later. Mr. Buxton published his study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism. For VOA Learning English, I'm Alex Villarreal. From VOA Learning English, this is the Education Report. As an English learner, you want to be able to understand and to discuss a subject. You also want to be able to express your opinions and to support them. You can learn these skills by learning how to debate. Americans use the word debate to talk about discussions among people. Another use of the word debate describes a more formal discussion. Debaters work on a team to convince a judge that their opinion about a topic has more value than the opposite side's opinion. The National Speech and Debate Association says that students of debate research both sides of a topic. They learn to think critically about every argument that could be made on each side. Debate comes from a tradition started in ancient Greece. They believed people needed to have certain skills in a democracy, including speaking in public in support of an opinion, and being able to explain that opinion. A debate contest traditionally has this structure. Teams agree to debate a statement, such as nuclear power should be banned. One team supports the resolution. The other one is against the resolution. Each team gives an argument for or against the resolution. Then each team asks questions about the other team's argument. After answering the questions, each team makes more statements to support its argument. Finally, they summarize the arguments. They talk about them again in less time. In a classic debate, teams may take 12 turns in which one member of the team speaks. Join us next week for more information on debates. For VOA Learning English, I'm Alex Villarreal.